all glam, all the time, restoring my Playboy bunny chair do-it-yourself project. This is the chair. It's a total hot mess. And I have some leftover glitter from a previous do-it-yourself project, so why not use it in this do-it-yourself project, right?
Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this mess. We are going to restore this. Yep. We are going to have to restore it. It has been in my basement. It's got nasty and rusted and yep, I'm going to restore it. So here we go.
Now the bottom of my chair was rusted and just gross, so I got regular Dawn dish soap and a Brillo pad and newspaper. That's what I'm going to be using to clean the bottom of this chair. You can see I have my Brillo pad, my Dawn dish soap, and I'm just going to scrub the base of the chair just to get the rust and the paint that's peeling, just to get it all off and have a smooth base when I get ready to paint it or whatever I decide to do with it. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just doing the TLC and cleaning it up. Then I went in and I was like, I have this leftover glitter from a previous do-it-yourself project. If you haven't checked it out, link is in the description. But I had some of that glitter left over and I'm like, why not just go ahead and color the entire base glittery, color, paint, whatever. You got the same idea. And ta-da, glitter all over the base. I mean, it made it look cute and glittery, and I really love the glitter look to it. How I made this glitter paint was just regular clear paint and some glitter. That's it. Crafts glitter. Any color you want can make glitter paint. Look how beautiful. Ta-da! Look how sparkly and just gorgeous. I'm in love. So I went to Walmart and I got me some regular material that I wanted, some glue, and these little sparkly rhinestones from yours truly, Dollar Tree. And I love the fabric I picked out. And you know, Gorilla Glue works on anything and everything. Get you some Gorilla Glue. And of course some newspapers. Well, here's my chair inside the house now. I'm like, okay. It's dried. Let's get to work and actually making this glamorous. So I am taking scissors and I am going to be cutting the material that I got at Walmart. I paid like $8 for a whole yard of this material, so it's really cheap. And I'm just laying it underneath my chair. You can, I mean, if you want to be precise, there's certain ways you should do it, but my motto is, if it looks good, let me do it how I want to do it, right? So I do it my way, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I done it. So I laid the material down, and knowing that this material is, when you cut it, it's not, you can't tell where you cut it at because of the material. It's all fuzzy and just real, you know, it's not like regular material like lines where you have to line the lines and line the material up. So this, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to lay it down, lay the chair down, and I'm going to cut piece by piece and glue on piece by piece. That's the easiest way I can think about doing it. And that's exactly what I did. Normally, if you had a pattern material or a material that you was going to do a project with like I'm doing, you would want to start from the front and go towards the back, not bring it from the back to the front like I'm doing. But for me, this was easier because the base of the chair was, it had to lay on its front or it'd be like in an awkward position for me, and I didn't want to sit there and hold this chair, and I was doing this by myself. So this was the easiest way to go about doing this project, and it still turned out perfect. So like I said, it just depends on the material that you're using. My house is a total disaster right now because these little fuzz balls, every time I cut this material, went flying everywhere. And I've been using the living room as like a little workstation, so excuse the mess. And you can see I'm literally just cutting the material and gluing it on. Now the Gorilla Glue worked perfect for this. It did hold on to the leather material of the actual chair, so therefore I was able to, I didn't have to like hold it on there too long and press it and wait. It literally, I put the glue on there and it held the material right then and there, so it was perfect to use. And on a normal basis, I would have loved to keep this chair white, but I had this in the house, and unfortunately I was a smoker and I previously smoked in the house, so it had like a yellow tint to it from the nicotine, which I hate, and I am really sad that I let myself smoke in the house, but I did, and I don't smoke no more. But therefore I ruined the chair myself by smoking. So if you are a smoker, just think of the harm that you're doing to not only yourself, but to your furniture and this gorgeous chair I ruined by smoking. Anywho, we are fixing it and covering it up so you can't even tell that it's not a pretty white. It's going to be a furry pink chair now. And like you see, the worst part about this glue was I'd used it and it started coming out the back. If you see, I'm using it like I'm literally using the back of it instead of the front of it now, because I couldn't get enough glue out of the front, and it started, like, the whole end of it came off, and I'm like, well, whatever, we're gonna make this work. And then I had this fuzzy fur stuck to my fingers. I'm like, okay, whatever. I literally was like winging this all the way. Like, I was using my fingers, rubbing this in, and I was determined to get this chair done. So I'm sure there is a lot of an easier way to go about this. This is just how I happen to do it. It just shows you right there. You can add your own touches to any do-it-yourself project. That's why it's called do-it-yourself project. As long as it looks great at the end, who cares how you done it, right? There is no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you get a finished product that you are in love with. Then it was all worth it. Now, as I am going around the top of the chair, piecing it together, I am taking the glue and I'm taking a little bit of it underneath just to tack it underneath of it. And then at the very end, when I am done with this chair, like right here, I actually take masking tape and a little bit of duct tape and go around the bottom of the chair with the material just to give it extra support. I mean, nobody's going to be crawling up underneath your chair seeing what it looks like underneath, right? I mean, if they do, you need to tell them to get up from underneath your chair. But I did do that just to give it a little bit of extra support, because when you do set in it, it could rub a little bit and the glue could get loose, and that way it's not going to fall apart because there is extra support underneath the chair. Nobody's going to see it. So after I added the tape and the masking tape and the duct tape underneath, I did go over with a little bit more glue on top of that, so then it had another layer, another support system on top of that. This chair is not moving. The fabric on this chair is not. I'm still not feeling this. It's just not what I'm wanting. So I'm like, this is one way you can do it. You can use the glitter idea that I came up with and just leave it like that. You can use that glitter idea for any chair. And I'm like, I got these rhinestones from Dollar Tree left over, and I got some super glue. Why not glam up the base of this chair too to make it even more spectacular? So that's what I did. I got my rhinestones out, and I'm like, do I want to glue them actually around the whole circle of the base and just make it, you know, it like a border, or do I want to go in the inner of the chair and go around that and design it that way? And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do, because this, when I start going around the circle, it's going to be tacky. So I decided to take the rhinestones and wrap it all the way up the top of the chair, and then put fur at the bottom of the base. Is that not the coolest idea? I loved it, so of course I had to go with it. So just like the top of it, I pieced together each little piece of fur that I cut apart and glued it on. I used super glue. Now at this point, I did not get enough of my, I did not buy enough Gorilla Glue. So if you're going to do a project like this, at least buy 2 tubes of Gorilla Glue. I only bought 1 tube of Gorilla Glue. They're like $5 a tube. And I thought that would do enough, but I needed 2 really. And I had some leftover super glue in the house. I'm like, I'm just going to use super glue now. That's all I can do, unless I want to tape it. I did not want to tape this fur to the bottom of the chair, so I used super glue, and it worked just as good as a Gorilla Glue, if not better even, because the super glue actually, when I would put it on there, it got like, the super glue instantly stuck to the material. Like it went up inside the fabric. So I mean, for the base of it, I think the super glue was a perfect choice to use instead of the Gorilla Glue. So that worked out in my favor. And that's simply all I'm doing, is gluing this onto the base piece. I'm telling you, I would have been so screwed if I would have got a material that I had to actually measure out and shape it to the base and shape it to each, you know, section of this chair, because this, how I'm literally cutting it, I'm not having to measure this fabric. I'm not having to do anything particular with this fabric. I'm literally cutting it how I want, slapping it on there and gluing it. I mean, and it looks perfect because of the fabric I'm using, because of the furry effect it's giving you. You can't tell where it's pieced together at. So that is an amazing tip to use. Check your fabric before you decide to do something, because that means everything in the entire do-it-yourself project. Because look, you've seen how I cut it. I had some weird looking shapes I just threw in there. And it turned out perfect. And again, at the bottom of this, I flipped it over when I got done, and all the loose ends around the ends of this base, I took tape, super glued the tape, and went over it again with duct tape, just to give it extra support on the very bottom, because when you're moving a chair around, it's going to get loose, you know, the fabric. You don't want your chair to fall apart after time, so why not go the extra step and secure it so that you don't have to worry about it. That's what I did, and I was completely happy with it. I love this chair, and I mean, it's fuzzy, furry, pink, and sparkly. What more could you ask for, right? It's gonna be a perfect vanity chair. My little dressing room is going to look so glamorous with this chair in it. And I'm just showing you how I'm piecing it together still. That's a long part. That is the longest part of this, is just gluing and piecing your material together to it. There is a finishing product. Oh my gosh. Look how gorgeous. What do you think? You think I did good? I think it's a success. I think it is the most beautiful do-it-yourself project ever. Thanks for watching, guys. Mwah.